My name is Erica, and this is going to be my wrap up for Read Your Bookshelfathon round 5. And I'm doing today's the last day of Read Your Bookshelfathon round 5. One of the hosts is Miranda over at Books 101. It's super fun. I really like Read Your Bookshelfathon. The whole point of Read Your Bookshelfathon is to pick a point on your bookshelf and then just read as many books as you can from that. So I actually picked a pile of books from my pile of books that I had picked out for my TBR this month, and I really didn't stick to it at all. I did read one book that I had on that list that I was really excited. I really, really, really wanted to get through. It was definitely like one I was just really wanting to do. So I did read that one. And then I read a bunch of other stuff. So I'm going to show you what I read during Read Your Bookshelfathon. And actually, yesterday was the start of the Goodreads group, all the books May readathon. And that readathon, the theme is art. So that's explaining why I have a bunch of comic books and stuff in this, which is not something I usually have during my wrap-ups and stuff, because I don't usually have comic books and graphic novels kicking around. But I had one graphic novel that I owned that I was going to read during this readathon, the All the Books one that started yesterday, because it was an art theme. So the art theme was illustrations, graphic novels, comic books, anything like that. So I had one that I had purchased that I hadn't read yet, and then I went to my library and they actually had a really good selection for graphic novels for stuff that I had heard about through BookTube or just like friends of mine and really wanted to check out things that just looked really cool. So I ended up with a stack for that. So look forward to how many of those I read in my next video, because that'll be my next one. If you haven't noticed, May is the month for readathons. I mean, like, for real, I feel like all I have done this month is participate in readathons, which is pretty awesome because I keep basically breaking down my TBR into smaller piles and reading for each part of it or whatever. For each thing, like for each theme or whatever. So let's get on to it, right? So what I read during Read Your Bookshelfathon and the beginning of all the books. This is the only book I completed that was in my original TBR for Read Your Bookshelfathon. So go figure. That is As Shadows Fade by Colleen Gleason, which I think we've talked about several times now. I love this series. It's the Gardella Vampire Chronicles. Right? Gardella Vampire Hunter Chronicles. I always miss a word. But that's what it is. It is super exciting. It really is. It's like it's an infuriating series in the best way possible. Let me explain. So I had said when I finished reading it, it's a total roller coaster ride, because it is. Because it takes you from like you're like, oh, this is such a good thing. I love this. These characters are great. To one of the characters will do something and you're just like, what is wrong with you? And you're screaming at the book and it's crazy. Yeah, there was a whole 100-page part of this here book that I was yelling at books. I was like, are you kidding me? I was swearing at it. There were expletives. I at one point actually threw it down and I read a whole different book altogether. I read Cake Rex, which by Jenny Yates, I think is her last name. I don't have it. I got that. My library has this awesome capability, getting with the times here. I like it. I can borrow ebooks, which is really neat. I like the instantaneous. I want to read that. So I needed a break from this. It was annoying me, and really, I was screaming at it. I was not happy with it, so I threw it down, and I was like, I don't want to read any of my graphic novels because that's for next week's readathon. I want to read something else though. What do I have? And I glanced at my pile and I didn't want to start another book. I didn't want to get into another book. I wanted a book that I could sit down and read. So I borrowed Cake Rex by Cake Rex ebook from my library, and I read that in about 45 minutes. So Cake Rex, if you've never heard of it, go to the website. It's cakerex.com if I remember right. It is hilarious. It's literally what it sounds like. It is, bakery. I mean, like bakery level. A lot of these cakes and stuff that are just totally horrendous. Like from the weird decorations to the grammar. Oh my god, the grammar on them are hilarious, and the spelling mistakes. I mean, that's, if you remember, you may not have heard of, but I'm sure you've seen them before. Like, it's pictures like where it shows like a thing that says like happy birthday put underneath and then whatever their name is. Like, it's so funny that people do that. So I read that. I laughed my butt off. It was a good book. It was not. I actually, I think I prefer the website over the book, to be completely honest. The book was fun, but I like the style of the website, and it's just neat. So anyway, but it was pretty good, and I liked it. Then I went and returned that, and then I went back to this, and I finished it. So I officially have finished this series, which is pretty good because I started it in March, and go me for finishing a series in just a couple months. That makes me happy. The author, Colleen Gleason, is super active on social media, and she's so funny and she's so nice. And she told me I needed to read one of her novellas because then I would really like, it would tie up the thing and I would be happy about it. And there's a new novella that's coming out in June that follows after the other novella, I guess. I think. There's also one more book that she wrote that's in the same vein, meaning it's the Gardella Vampire Hunter Chronicles, but it's actually a different character. And I think I know who the character is. I was just gonna say it, and then I realized it would totally spoil its entire series, so I'm not gonna tell you, and don't look it up because unless you've read this. But I would really suggest, if you like demons, if you like vampires, if you like romancy stuff and adventures in that, this is a good series to get into. It's really good. It ended on a high note. She does promise that there's a happy ending, and I will say that there was a happy ending. I was really pleased with the whole wrap up of it, and it was just really good. I really liked it. So was that. And then I read Cake Rex, and then I started on comic books. I just put up a picture. Excuse me while I move around here. I just put up a video the other day of my Loot Crate and my Owl Crate unboxing, so you know that I got a couple comic books and magazines in my Loot Crate. So I read the little teeny Mad Magazine Loot Crate edition, which is super silly, just like Mad Magazine always is. And then I read the Loot Crate edition comic book that was included, which is Bravest Warriors, by Tales from Holo. I don't know if it's Holojon or Holojon. I think it's Holojon. Which if you knew what I was talking, because they have all this stuff like holographic, so I think it's what it is. It's created by Pendleton Ward. This was adorable and silly and toilet humor on toilet humor with more toilet humor. I feel like if you're like 15, this would be great. Just based on 15-year-olds that I knew at some point in my life. It was silly and it was cute and I liked it. And then I read, I think I mentioned in one of my other ones that I got a grab bag of. I don't know why I have such a glare happening. That I had a grab bag. Sorry, totally forgot what I was talking about. That I had a comic book grab bag that I got from one of my local bookstores. Bookstores, music stores. It's an everything store. It's great. So in that, I don't know why. I've read some comic books. I had a friend in middle school that was really into comic books, so she used to like share them with me when I went to her house, that kind of stuff. And then I've literally, I want to say like 90% of the men that I've dated have been comic book nerds, so I've learned like through them more stuff about comic books and stuff like that. I have a friend that's obsessed with Batman, but in specifics, it's the movies that she likes and not the comic books. I dated more than one guy who was also obsessed with Batman on the comic book front. So things like that. So when I opened up my grab bag and there were actually four altogether, Batman comic books. The other one is the only thing that I've read outside of a readathon right now, so it's in its own wrap-up video. But yeah, that should be interesting. I feel like because this readathon is all week, right? Yeah, it goes until the end of next week. I really think that I'm gonna have one thing in my May wrap up that was outside of a readathon, so that should be fun. Anyway, so when I saw these in there, I was really excited because I like Batman, and I already know I like the story of Batman, so why not read them? And to be completely honest, of the 10, there were 10, yeah, of the 10 comic books that were in the comic book grab bag, I read 4 of them were Batman, and I read all 4 of the Batman ones, and I liked every single one of them. And I read one other one that wasn't a Batman one, and that was it. The rest of them I tried to read and was just like, no, and threw them off to the side. So yeah, those ones are going to a friend of mine who has a, as she says, comic book friendly home. Her sons and herself all like comic books, and they like to read them, and then they use them to do like crafty things with them and stuff. So kind of cool. So anyway, so the ones that I read Batman. What's this one called? Oh, Requiem, which was pretty cool. I gotta say, it's by Scott Snyder, Andy Kubert, and Sandra Hope, which I think this one is too. Nope. Okay. So I read this one. This was really interesting. It was kind of fun. It has cool. Oh my god, is this one with like? I don't know. Hold on. I think this is one with the hot Batman. There was like a moment where I was just like, Batman's really hot in this. You can't see him in this one. So yeah, so there's that one. Good stuff. And then I read this one, which is Batman: The Dark Knight, The Wrath of Clayface. Can I just throw it out there? Is there a reason why the names of the villains in these are so just Clayface? Like, really? I don't know. That doesn't sound menacing to me at all. I mean, and like, he's creepy. Look at him. He's like he's creepy. So this one, yeah, this one was really fun too. I'm trying to see if I can find a picture of that. There's literally one of these. I don't remember which one it is now. There was a picture of Batman that I was just like, he's so hot. I should have that. This one was my favorite. This was Batman: The Dark Knight again, and it was When Allies Become. Oh, the other one was by. Sorry, the other one was by Greg Hurwitz and Alex Maleev. And this one is When Allies Become Deadly Enemies, and this one's also by Greg Hurwitz and Alex Maleev. This particular one was awesome. Like, I started reading it while I was kind of waiting for something. I spent my whole day baking yesterday, so in between batches and stuff, while I was just waiting around, I would like flip open a comic book. So I was reading it in between stuff, and I actually just left everything to finish it. It was really good. I like this one a lot. That was really good. I actually like the Batman Dark Knight series here. Like, these are ones that, should I run into them, I might actually pick up some more, because those were fun. So I learned that when it comes to the comic books, though I love Marvel movies, I do not like Marvel comics. Not the ones that I had, at least. There was a couple Captain Americas and one other one that I can't remember what it was now that I attempted to read and was like, these, no, boring, bleh. So, I don't know, kind of weird. I may have to check out another one. And then I read this one, because when I was like 14 or 15, I think, maybe 16 even, Powerpuff Girls was like the thing. I love Powerpuff Girls. So the fact that there was a comic book in here that was Cartoon Network and it had Powerpuff Girls, I had to read it, and it was silly and everything you love about Powerpuff Girls if you love them. This one's a Cartoon Network super sampler. So it had a Powerpuff Girls story, a Samurai Jack story, and a Ben 10 one. And it's actually like from a Halloween thing or something. I have no idea. It doesn't have. It doesn't really have an author. It's got a bunch of last names. So Bush, Chiarello, Bruzula, and Garcia Fuentes. I don't know. This one was pretty good. It was funny. It worked. It was quick and easy. I read all of those yesterday in between batches and stuff like that. And then at the end of the day, I picked up Fables Volume 1, Legends in Exile, which is by Bill Willingham, Lynn Medina, Steve Leilola, and Craig Hamilton. This one I heard so much about on BookTube that I picked it up when I was just out buying books one day. So this is the one I actually had in my possession as far as like trying to find graphic novels to read. This is a fairy tale retelling in a really weird way. And it was interesting. I liked it. I liked the writing style in it. I actually love the artwork that's in between each chapter or volume or whatever. These kind of things. I like that they were like, can you kind of see how cool they are? They look like watercolor paintings to me, and like or old oil paintings, like that kind of thing, which is kind of cool. The actual like just the way the entire thing is set up is really nice. I like the artwork a lot, and I like the writing style, and I thought it was interesting. I may pick up another one from this and check it out. I know there's a ton He's been writing these for a while, and they literally, I mean, like, I think there's like at least like 30 volumes, so I have my choice if I want. So this volume 1 has the first 5 issues. Is that they're called issues, right? Issues, right? 5 issues in it, and it was really interesting. It was a fun story to read. It was cool, and again, I think I might pick up another one. I'm not sure that I'm in love with it. I gave it 4 stars because I thought, again, I really liked the writing style, and the artwork was cool, and the storyline was neat. I'm just not sure if I'll continue or not. I might if I run into it, maybe. So that's that. So that's what I read during RibSat. RibSat continues today for another few hours for me. And during that time, I started this one right after dinner. It's Persepolis, the story of a childhood. Marjane Satrapi is the author of it. This is volume 1, and I have volume 2 as well because I have both at my library. I started to read this one, and I love it already. Like, it's really fascinating to me. I can understand why the movie version of it won so many like awards and everything. I think the actual comic did too, or the graphic novel, but I'm not even sure. But I really like already. I think I'm like halfway through it already. Yeah, just about. And I find it fascinating. Like it's a story that like about a part of the world I don't know much about anyway. So that part's kind of fascinating. Aside from a few things that I've read, and it's just really interesting. And it's her memoir basically. It starts with her at age 10 and goes from there and through the revolution that happened in. I was gonna say Iran, and then I'm like Iraq. Hold on, it was Iran, yeah. Yeah. Anyway, so it's really interesting. I really like it. If you have not read that, I would say go check it out because it's really fascinating. I like it a lot so far. I haven't finished that yet, but I am going to finish that tonight because I'm halfway through it, and I will finish that tonight. I'd like to finish it tonight. And yeah, so that's what I read during Read Your Books Up. I really thought I'd get through more books, but I ended up working longer shifts. And I don't know. I think I just didn't sit down and read as much. This one just took me a while to get through. It wasn't really that long or anything. It was just I just kept getting mad at it. So I think that was part of it. I did read a couple pages in Russell Brand's memoir, my bookie book again too, but the same thing. Like I'm having trouble really getting into it. I think I'm just not in the mood for that type of memoir right now. Because I mean, this is a memoir, but it's a graphic novel, so it's easier to read. I don't know. I keep like picking away at that though. Yeah, I think that's all the stuff I read. It seems right. I don't think I read any other ebooks. I'm not sure. I don't think so. I think I read them in the other one. So yeah, so that's it for me today. Yeah, I hope you guys are having fun with Read Your Book Shuffle-a-thon if you participated in that. If you're in the Alta Books Goodreads group, hi, hello. I hope you guys are doing well in your first couple of days of that readathon. I will be continuing with that one with my pile of, and I do mean pile of graphic novels. I borrowed like 3, and then I borrowed a Shel Silverstein book that I'd never read before because I love Shel Silverstein so much. Like that's my childhood right there. I love him, and his whole books are filled with illustrations. I figured it would work. And then I went to the library to return a book, and I got like 6 more graphic novels because I glanced over at the graphic novel thing. I was actually looking to see if Mouse was in by Art Spiegelman because, again, that's another one of those things I've heard 1,000 things about on BookTube. And I ended up getting 4 other graphic novels that just looked so good. And I picked up another book that was on hold. I have so many books from the library to read. Oh, goodness. But anyway, yeah, that's it. We're gonna move on. Happy reading to you. I hope that you are having a lovely long weekend wherever you may be. And yeah, I'm gonna finish that book now. I'll see you later. Happy reading.